All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, man, just out and about today. Today actually is a nice day. If you come to Las Vegas right about now that we're in April, man, it's going to be like probably in the 80s, maybe 85. Right now it's 90. I think it's going to be 90 for a couple of days until the temperature kind of tapers off a little bit. And it'll be probably in the 80s probably to next month, and this is where I'm going to be like 90 in May. So, your boy 50 going to be in town tonight. 50 is going to be at Dre's. Y'all been to Dre's before? Yeah, he's going to be performing there. I wonder if he's going to be able to be on that treadmill, can he run that treadmill like back in the day on that in the club video? He'd probably be ready to have a heart attack. 50, he almost 50 years old. 50 will be 50 himself. But anyway, look, this is going to be part 3 of Floyd Mayweather's, financial woes and bankruptcy allegations. And he really doesn't have woes, but I think that he needs to change the flow of a few things. Number 1, his lifestyle. Number 2, the way that he divvies his money, that he needs to consider moving his money around to where he doesn't really have any debt and he can have some money in the bank. It's basically like capital that, tangible type capital, and then his assets. Because according to these reports, and there's a lot of credible people, all right, that are talking about this, that these allegations that, Mayweather is making his money, okay? In certain places, he's made a lot of money from boxing. He's he made right around $700 million, $800 million boxing. And then, the rest from endorsements and then his real estate deals and things like that. Okay? But then again, this thought that he doesn't have any money in the bank because, again, his lifestyle, or money to people, or money, taxes and things like that. I don't know if it's like child support. Okay, maybe it's properties to try to maintain all this stuff, but that stuff will eat you alive. Okay? Now, Stephen A. Smith, and that needs to be I'm going to make a detailed video about this, calling Mayweather out about this bankruptcy allegation or whatever, okay? Filing for bankruptcy. We're going to get into that. But Steve A. Smith had called it out on his show. But I said also before that Logan Paul, you can see this is on social media, where he's complaining because Mayweather is not paying him his money. He said on the interview that I haven't got all my money. I know a lot of people that he owes money to, and he ain't getting his money. He's not paying the money. Okay, his promotion company, Floyd Mayweather Boxing, those guys are not getting paid. Okay, many people, except maybe a few family members, and they want to keep the business afloat because they're family and they have money, okay, from other things that they do. Excuse the light, y'all, okay? But many of the people went on strike. You can see that online, where he's at his headquarters, and then many of his people are on strike. Okay? Now, he's got a club out here, strip club called the Doll Collector. And the dancers are complaining about him not paying the monies, that, they're not paying the money that they worked hard for. I made a video about that. He did that in September. Okay, so yeah, I think what it is he's doing a lot of real estate deals, and he's making a profit off that. Okay, but this guy is getting further and further in debt that from people who seem like that are subordinate to him. You know what I'm saying? These things will catch up with him if he does not do what he needs to do to fix that. Okay, that he's getting further and further in debt to a point to where this guy may end up getting charges, okay, for scamming people. Also, there was a cryptocurrency scam allegedly that he called out, and then the coin never came out and things like that, okay, and whatnot. I don't know if that means that people invested in it or what, okay, but that's what the allegations are. So this is what's going on with that. Now, Jeff Mayweather, this is Floyd Mayweather's uncle, in a press conference, he came out to say that, he hadn't seen Mayweather in some months, and that there was talk about trying to have an exhibition this year, and it start on this fight hype site that I'm getting this information from, that he's doing these exhibitions to replenish the money that he's losing going bankrupt. Okay, apparently it just goes to show there's proof that he's got more going out on his lifestyle, on his properties and things like that than what he's making. All right, so but he says that the fight needs to happen by the fall of this year, 2025, or Mayweather's outright retire. But there's supposed to be an exhibition match. Also, Jeff Mayweather even came out and said himself, public information, that he felt Floyd Mayweather does not have any money in the bank, which is indicative of him, Floyd Mayweather, having over $300 million in the bank. Okay, it's going to show that there's something wrong there. All right, I don't know where they're getting this information from, but there's always a way that people can find out. So 50 had called Floyd out too, okay, and said that he knew about the complaints about people owing him money, and Mayweather doesn't have the money that he portrays himself to have, okay, or unless he's taking that money, securing that, like things like his jewels and his watches, and I don't know, the jets, the houses and things like that, okay, before he divvies his money out, so you make it look like that he's got all this stuff. All right, and I told you about the apartment complex in New York where allegedly that he had put $400 million in, and there's no reports of that. Okay, and this comes from a very credible source, including House Reporting Authority. Okay, so this is a site where when people buy homes or people buy apartment buildings, things like that, when it comes to real estate, it gets reported to this company. Okay, and I don't know, I guess, so they can have records on who bought the property, whose possession it's in or whatever, okay, and how much it's worth, kind of like an MLS number for every house and things like that. So, housing, they could be able to, to keep it track of every, any houses in case they end up being changing hands and things like that. Okay, who's in possession and who's in possession of what. And there's no indication of that with Mayweather's name on it. So people are trying to get to the bottom of, okay, why people are not getting paid, why he's not paying his taxes and things like that. People want to know, where is that money going to, or is he broke? Okay? So we're going to keep this series up here. All right, I'm going to make a more detailed video here about this filing for bankruptcy allegations and things like that. Okay, that Steve A. Smith claims that, that he's going through right now. Stay tuned. Cash App $Winston Spivey if you want to donate.